Welcome back to another episode of the Vision Pod, where guests are handpicked to bring value to your everyday life. Enjoy.
Did you usually watch like Impact Theory, all that kind of stuff? Or?
Impact Theory?
Yeah, you watch that one?
What's that?
Oh, it's like Tim Bellahoo or whatever.
Okay, no.
He's got a podcast series that he interviews a bunch of people.
Okay.
Yeah.
Joe Rogan? You
Joe
listen to Joe Rogan?
Yeah, no. I don't listen to podcasts.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
What do you think of the chairs?
They're nice.
I just got them from Tommy Guns.
Okay.
Yeah, they used to have them. They're old barbershop chairs.
Yeah, they're nice. Yeah,
it's good, but the camera
Mid-century.
can't even see them.
Yeah, that's
no good.
Well, yeah.
Whatever.
I mean, what do you do? They're nice chairs.
Yeah. So
I
just
just bring them up and you say they're nice chairs. Everybody
That's right.
will want to sit in it and they'll want to.
They're comfortable, yeah. So first question I want to ask, how did you get into the real estate business?
So I was in real estate. I wasn't a realtor. I was a realtor after I was in real estate. So I was investing, building, flipping, and running rental properties prior to getting my license. And it wasn't until I was let go from a job that I took when my third child, Lydia, was born. That morning, I let the company know prior that we were having a baby, and I probably would like a week off, right? Mm-hmm. And so that morning, when she was born, I quickly fired them an email, in between, and said, "Hey, just to let you know, we were blessed with our baby right. girl, and I'll catch you guys in a week or something, right?" And then I don't know how much longer after that, but then I got an email after that, and they said they're terminating me due to financial constraints that same day. So
wow.
Yeah, that was a little bit of a roller coaster, right?
Yeah.
You have a baby, and then you get fired all the same day.
Yeah.
So, at that point, the wheels were spinning, and I was just I didn't really care that much, but I cared in the way that they did it, right? Mm-hmm. So anyways, I kind of let that settle out, and between conversations with Tanya and I was like, well, you know what, like, maybe I should just get my realtor's license, because her concern about being a realtor was that you have to work evenings and weekends all the time, and by working with the rental properties and leasing them and renting them out and stuff, I was already working evenings and weekends.
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, I don't really think much is going to change. So she was gung-ho. Well, she kind of supported me in that. So I basically did my realtor's course with Lydia in my arms the whole time. And
wow.
I smashed that course out in a month. I sat down with a broker in town, Curtis Burby at the time, and we were chatting because I was possibly going to work over there. And I asked him, like, how long does it take? How quick can I get this done? Right? Because I got fired, I need a job and whatnot. And he's like, well, I did it in a month. I said, okay, perfect. I put it in my calendar that day or whatever, a month out. And then, I hammered it out, and I messaged him, and I said, man, like, here it is, month done, and I'm licensed, ready to go. So
perfect.
Yeah. It was a highly motivated situation.
Nice, yeah. So you actually started a lawn care business too?
Yeah, when I was younger, yeah. When I was 18, I had a landscape company called Farmer's Tan Landscaping.
Yeah.
So that was a lot of hard work, and
okay.
When I was about 22, 23, I had a good friend that's in real estate, and I was asking questions like yourself about real estate, and then I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. But prior to that, I found myself flat out on the ground, exhausted. I don't know what they call that, a breakdown. Breaking point, maybe, yeah, something like that. And I said something needs to change. So after reading Rich Dad Poor Dad, the book, I changed a few dynamics of the landscape company, and I went and I signed up as many condominiums and maintenance contracts as I could in town, just to have more of a tangible business.
Yeah.
And that was one of the big key points I learned in that book was creating a tangible business, not just all on you, right?
That's right, yeah.
So it was good learning at 20, 21 kind of thing. And then ended up selling that just essentially just as a wash, but then just kind of focused from there in the realm of real estate mainly. So.
Okay, cool. What are some of your favorite things about real estate?
Well, yeah, real estate's a very powerful industry as far as like the asset goes. So there's a lot of pros to it. I like that you can leverage it like five times. Essentially you can buy a piece of property 20% down versus all the cash that you need. So there's quite a bit of leverage there. You can leverage the asset if there's equity in it. You can refinance, pull equity, and scale it, or whatever you need to do with those funds. I like that you can create value in real estate as well. Because I love finding problems and fixing them, kind of thing. So that you can manage a property better, and by just managing it better, you can increase the value of it. So
cool.
There's so many. It's so dynamic. There's just so much to it. And nowadays, you can literally, like with Airbnb, you can not even own real estate. You can just like become a co-host of something.
Yeah.
And you can make money just by running an app and just being a good customer service rep. That's pretty cool too.
It is pretty cool.
This is.
So have you looked into that?
Co-hosting?
Yeah.
No, I'm not interested in that.
Yeah.
No.
Not at this point.
No.
Yeah.
I prefer to own it, but I've heard lots of people make good money, good income from it, but yeah.
So how do you generate leads as a real estate agent?
I mean, I always try and watch what other industries are doing too, because it's not just realtorism or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I think if you look at your business as a whole, I think you gotta segregate marketing into two categories, like the brand marketing and the lead generation marketing, right? So both I think are needed, holistically in your business. But like our lead generation, we were talking, is essentially those forms, the ways that you're like getting people's contact information, that sort of thing, right? And then there's the brand marketing where you got, your mailers, billboards, bus benches, whatever is just like a static, essentially, cost to your business, right? So I think you need the brand marketing in order for when people see whatever lead generation you're doing, they make the connection, right?
Right. Yeah.
And again, I didn't take any marketing degrees in school or anything, so this is all like school of hard knocks.
Yeah.
And I still think there's so much to learn about marketing because the consumers are always changing, right?
So how did you brand yourself?
Well, I mean, that's a tough question to ask because it, like I said, I kind of segregated into two categories, but at the same point, you still need to show up, right, and do the work. So I think that was one of the big key players in starting the business or starting as a realtor was that I showed up. I was the first one at the office, last one leaving for like the first 3 years.
Yeah.
And as you build your business and market it, you want to find what your niche is too, because not everybody is going to be, the same. So you got to find what your unique selling proposition is as far as what you're going to do for your clients.
That's right.
Right.
Yeah.
Like I would say I'm well-rounded at this point, but I do have a niche in investment real estate, right? So if someone comes to me and they don't know a single thing about investing in real estate, I love that because I can then teach them versus somebody that has several doors and just buys randomly for whatever reason, right? To me, I think if you come up with a strategy and strategy to implement for your investment portfolio, I think you'll be far better off in the long run, rather than just buying an up-down duplex because everybody else buys them.
Right.
Might not be the best option for you.
Yeah.
Right?
For sure.
Because each property requires a different level of management skill set too. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what would you say to someone wanting to get into that investment real estate, and how would you get into it?
Well, I guess just get educated first off, meet with the right people, have conversations, gather information. They always say you want to start like a power team when you're doing real estate investing. You know, we want to sit down, meet with a good mortgage broker, a good lawyer that understands real estate investment, accountant, realtor as well, right? So maybe you want to ask them, do they own real estate? Have they done real estate? What kind of real estate they've done? Just because if they're a realtor that lives in their mom's basement, like do they actually, have they done the thing, that sort of stuff, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I would probably advise anybody.
Just get a good team, kind of.
Get a good team, yeah, and make sure that they are invested. Maybe they're invested in the same city that you want to invest in, so they got a good idea and are invested in your success too, right?
Yeah, someone who kind of practices what they're preaching.
100%, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
And you were asking me about social media.
Yeah.
Nowadays, I swear, you gotta really watch social media, man. With like AI and all that, my word, I would shut it down and I would connect with somebody local as far as real estate goes.
Yeah.
That's my opinion.
Yeah, someone who knows the...
Yeah, because those guys on the medias or whatever, they just want you to buy their book or whatever it is.
Right, yeah, they're always trying to sell you something.
Yeah, For sure. Yeah, I mean, yeah. Just be careful, that's all.
Yeah, I get that, yeah. Don't fall for the first thing.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that's cool. So, the market's pretty swamped as a real estate agent. You're saying that there's a couple things that you would change to regulations. What would you want to do?
Well, I think the cool thing that could happen to the industry is like they put a cap on the realtors per capita, per city or whatever, right? Kind of like they do for taxi cab drivers. They have a number of licenses. Once it's tapped, that's it. Like you're on a waiting list of some sort. And then maybe those people that are on a waiting list of some sort, they can become assistants or they can join the teams that are maybe already licensed of some sort, right? So I think that would be kind of neat to see. So, and less regulatory restrictions. Like make it a free market. Like any other industry that's in business, you can do whatever you want as far as marketing goes, and yeah, just as long as you're still operating within the business ethics of the industry, right?
So what drives you to be in that top 1% or 10% of real estate agents?
You know, when I first started, I always wanted to be top. As my family grew and you know, my goals and my what would you call it? I'm just not at that point anymore where I need to be number 1, number 10, number 20, whatever it is. Ultimately, it's, you know, have we systemized everything in our business? What can be tweaked so that we have a smooth, hassle-free real estate process and you know, experience for the customer. Essentially what we want is them to be wowed after the fact. Matt did a great job. Matt and his team are awesome. We would recommend them again, that sort of thing. That's what we're more after than anything. So
for sure.
Yeah. A number is a number, man, and then every calendar year comes around and rolls again, then you're like, oh, I guess I got to do it all over again, right? So it's kind of like vanity of vanities. Whereas, like, yeah, it came to the point where you want to systemize things so that the business serves you and you're not serving the business. Yeah. Yeah.
So being in a sales position, how do you deal with rejection?
Oh, man. Well, somebody once told me, you know, you gotta deal with it like water off a duck's back, right? So, Rejection, it stings. I think it stings no matter what. The key there is just to move forward as quick as possible, pick yourself up, and go again, right?
Mm-hmm.
A word I always say is next.
Yeah.
Exclamation mark, next.
Yeah.
Right? It's just like, okay, cool, right on. Well, somebody else is going to be able to, we're going to be able to help somebody else that's going to be wanting to be helped and want to work with us, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not here to make people want to work with me because those don't work out too well either, right? So the key there is just to make sure that you're working with people that want to work with you.
For sure.
So,
yeah.
Yeah.
I think a year ago you gave me the book, The Compounding Effect.
Yeah.
What are some principles you like in that book?
I would say like the number one principle is no excuses. I hate excuses. Like, yeah, I think that would be number one. Number two would be you're 100% responsible.
Right.
So take 100% responsibility in any situation, any challenge that comes across your desk. Just don't try and pawn it off, point it out. You're the owner. You solve it, right?
Mm-hmm.
And yeah.
How do you feel about kind of the growing feeling that you're a victim, or everything that happened to me is not from me, it's from I was oppressed, or I went through all these hardships? What do you say to those people?
I honestly don't have empathy for that. I don't have time because it goes back into the excuse thing. It's like, you know what? Today's a new day. Like, pick yourself up. There's so many resources out there nowadays that you can pull yourself out of it.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's not going to be easy, but you could choose it. And
Sure.
and then it's not going to happen overnight either. It's going to take steps, right? Little steps, little positive steps in the right direction. Get you into that new, positive path that you're looking for. So, yeah, I don't know. It's hard for me to.
Yeah, I think it was that book. It always looks like an overnight success, but it's the compounding effect.
It's compound effect, absolutely. So yeah, and it can work for you or against you at any time in your life. So you really got to be careful of what you're watching, what you're letting what you're reading, that sort of stuff. Like that's why I don't even follow politics because I can't do anything about it.
That's right.
Right? Like I can have my opinion of who I'm going to vote for, but everything else is like really out of your control.
Yeah.
So what do you control? Well, you control your mind, your emotion, essentially. So if you're going to get into that, it can lead to all sorts of emotions.
Yeah, for sure.
Because like we've seen, there's very little accountability for those individuals that lead countries nowadays. So it's sad, but it's the truth. So
yeah.
So
how has faith played a role in your success?
Faith is like number one. I think in a commission-based business, you have to lead by faith, right? Like you said that you're starting off insurance, right? So it's going to be very similar to real estate. You need to create your brand and you need to create another source of generating leads. And at the same point, a lot of those conversations you have probably up front aren't going to be conversions, but they're going to know that you're in the industry. So faith, yeah, man, faith is 100%, like
yeah,
step by step. So yeah, I would say it's all faith
for sure. Yeah. So how old were you when you got married?
Oh man, I think I was 23.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure.
And how many kids do you have right now?
5.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. So how do you kind of balance that? Your all your kiddos and then your work too.
So Tanya is all about balance. The word balance, and I think like balance is a tough one for guys, especially because you want to be the provider. You want to make sure you bring home the bacon. You're solution minded. Most men are. So it's tough. It's tough to find balance. I think you need to be intentional about balance or intentional about how you want to live, essentially. So I try not to say the word balance because I don't believe in it. I believe that if you still need to be focused on something and work hard at it and put the effort in, but not at the expense of losing your family and that sort of thing, right? Because family is more important than work.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, just and it's good to have that accountability, being like, hey, we got a family dinner tonight. Can you put it down or whatever it is, right?
Yeah.
Can you not make appointments? Yeah. Like you just kind of got to work together. So communication is key. So yeah.
Yeah, I guess.
I'm not perfect. Anyways,
Right.
I think balance will be something you'll strive for till the day you're dead. But again, I think the key there is just to live intentionally with what's important to you, and it's easy to get in our world. Success is a tough subject because everybody's level of success is measured differently. And that is, I think, as a young dude, you got to figure out what success really means to you. When I was 22, 23, 24, whatever, I had a dream board and all that jazz and whatnot, and I had yachts and private jets and this, that, and the other thing. And I think I had 6 kids on there too, so not quite there. But anyways, I just think you need to really seek what success is for you. And the sooner you can find that out at an earlier age, the better off you're going to be, because then you won't be chasing what you think is success. I think it'll get you on that nice path. So yeah.
Do you set goals every year?
Oh yeah, I set my goals every year. I'm working on my goals for next year already right now.
Okay.
And just trying to finalize some goals too that are just maybe going to hit the ticker at the end there. But yeah, goal setting is huge, man. I think goals are important. Goals, individually, in a marriage, goals are good. They kind of are the fuel that keep you going, right? So, yeah.
So how often do you look at your goals? How often do you?
I try and look at them every day.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah. It's kind of like on my to-dos, read my goals every day.
Okay.
So that's
nice.
Yeah. Just so you're in tune, right? Because typically what you're doing throughout the week should measure up to what you're trying to achieve with your goals, right?
For sure.
So, but if you're not doing that, then how are you gonna achieve your goal, right?
Yeah. So you just went on a missions trip to Mexico. What was a couple of your favorite things?
Well, one of my favorite things was I was able to bring my 11-year-old boy with me, Anakin, and that was real special. To see him in that element as well. It's my first missions trip, as well. So
okay.
I had no expectations of anything. And I think another big thing was just connecting with people that I really never knew on the team, and being able to just bless the people that we were able to go and connect with. You just see that they're so grateful for everything that was being done, and just the connection, and just essentially sharing the word, right? Sharing the Father, Jesus with them and everything, what he can do for them. And you can just see that it's liberating for them, and that is really, at the end of the day, all they need there, ultimately.
Yeah.
It was eye-opening to see the shift from well-off to impoverished communities. So that was real insightful. And then just being completely out of my element. I enjoy it, but physically I'm opposed to it most times. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It kind of pushed me off the diving board, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of the way it felt. Yeah.
Do you think you'll do something like that again?
I wouldn't say no. I would look at something like that again for sure. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. Yeah, that's awesome.
Besides all that, the sunshine and palm trees was really nice too.
Yeah. So what is your ideal? What would you say your ideal customer would be in
In
real estate?
real estate? You know, I enjoy people that just, yeah, no, I don't know. I like all. What I've learned is I've learned to adapt to the different personality styles of each individual. So I enjoy the challenge of that because not everybody responds to the same approaches and that, right? So the sooner I can understand their personality style, I can adapt to that. So I actually, yeah, like, it's tough. You know, at the end of the day, if you summed it up, just somebody that's willing to kind of just, like, relinquish the control and just be able to trust. That's what I prefer. Because then it's like you can advise so much smoother and the process and everything it just goes better. Like, but you can't really tell somebody to be like, hey, if you trust me with everything, relinquish control, I'm going to make sure this goes smooth.
Yeah. Right?
You just, like, that's what everybody tries to do, right? So it's just being patient with people and whatnot. So, yeah. And again, not 100%. I'm not always, perfect, but that's kind of what I strive for. So, yeah. And again, going back to the wealth thing, I like helping people create wealth through real estate. So, yeah.
Yeah. It's a good thing to sell. Like when I was selling cars, it's not always the best investment, a new vehicle, but
yeah,
it's definitely different when you're selling something that is an asset.
Yeah. And I mean, if you go back to Rich Dad Poor Dad, just buying a primary house is not technically an asset. Right?
Yeah.
It's a doodad. So the car can be an asset too if it brings you to work.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
It comes across as, a liability, but at the same point, as long as they're not over leveraged or whatever, right? So I think you were doing people a favor for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So what are some other books that you read? Do you read lots of books during the year?
When I first started, I read so many books. Like, I would just, like, go through them, and it got to the point, I think, like, 3 or 4 years ago, I'm like, you know what, I'm gonna change this up. I'm not gonna be that guy that's gonna be like, oh, I'm gonna read 30 books this year, and la-da-da, right? Because what I've been finding is the books are kind of on repeat nowadays. Yeah. And so I have my select few, and then I'll go and I'll read them, so I've changed that. Yeah, I don't need to read just to say I read another book.
Yeah, I think there comes a point where it's probably too much information, and you just need to go out there and try stuff on your own.
Exactly. Yeah, you got to implement that. So that to me is more important than reading books. Is read books or read a book and then implement what was in the book. Yeah. Because if you're not implementing, then it's just a waste.
For sure.
Yeah.
So do you miss anything about your landscape company?
Now I probably could scale that company, but back then I didn't grow enough to, mentally in order to grow the company. So yeah, from that aspect, I do, but I still enjoy landscaping. I still landscape at my acreage, so I get my landscaping skills out. The itch, yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, and the design and all that. So yeah, I don't miss that company. No, like it was like a stepping stone to where I am now, and I'm grateful for it. It was a lot of work, and I was grateful for everybody that helped me with it and was a part of it too. So it was good learning. So yeah, cool. Yeah.
Perfect. Well, thank you for coming on the podcast.
That's it?
I appreciate it. That's all I got.
I thought we'd go like an hour 15.
I know. I can't. You answer my questions so quickly. That's the problem.
Okay.
Well, do you have anything else to say?
It's a privilege to be on here with you. I appreciate the invite, and I like what you're doing here. This is awesome. So I hope it goes well, and you just keep at it, man.
Yeah, thanks. I appreciate it.
It's gonna take work, and I hope that other people will see the value in it as well.
For sure. Yeah.
So, yeah.
Thanks. Thank you everyone for listening. If you guys learned something or found it interesting, please share the video with someone, as it helps me out a lot. Thanks.